Alright guys, I am super duper excited today because we've got our Porsche 992 Turbo S Cabriolet and we're about to begin working on it. So we've had it for a couple of weeks. We've already taken it to the track. We're gonna start modifying this car. So it's one of 20 PTS cars that were delivered here in the US earlier this month. It might have been last month already. PTS Oak Green Metallic. I freaking adore this color. Ben and I knocked it out of the park with the spec on it. We got the black interior with the yellow stitching, the yellow seat belts. Everything looks phenomenal. We have a 5-lug wheel setup and we got the basic wheels because we're going to be doing our Anarchy wheels, a set of HRE wheels, maybe a couple of other different brands like Rotiform and BBS, just to name a few. But moving our way over here, the car is on right now. We're going to start working on the exhaust. It's going to be the iPE exhaust, to my knowledge, the very first 992 Turbo S with the iPE. We're going to be doing a tune as well. If you've seen the video that we did at the drag strip, there was a Gentian Blue 992 Turbo S Cabriolet. That car ran 9.91 after we did the downpipes from iPE and after we did the tune.
All right, so it's a world's fastest 992 at the moment, 991.
So we're going to be going a little bit more because we're going to be doing the downpipes and the exhaust, which that car didn't have, and probably a more aggressive tune since it's our car. We're not too scared to push the engine a little bit more versus the conservative tune. The wheels, as I mentioned, we're probably going to be doing a couple different setups, 20 for the front, 21 for the rear. Also another setup that's going to be 21 for the front, 22 for the rear, so people can get a look at the proportions and things like that when they're shopping for wheels. And, you know, just going over everything else, I've been in this car, I've driven it. The speed is effortless, the acceleration is effortless. We're gonna lower it as well with some H&R springs. You know how we do. We do some crazy stuff when we own the car. We like to have cars that are brand new so we can showcase what the possibilities are. And I'm very excited to see everything come together and to showcase it to you guys after it's all done. David is on. We're ready to go. I want to say on the first half of this video, we had filmed that a couple months ago, so it's been a lot of things have happened in between now and then. If you haven't seen this car yet, then you just don't follow us on social media because everybody knows our 992 Turbo S by now. What I have next to me is the HRE S107 SC, my favorite setup that we've done. Let me talk a little bit more about the other setups we've done. Since they're not on the car right now, I'll have Marvin pull up some photos either on this corner or on this corner of both of those setups. One of them is the HRE 527S with the new FMR two-piece barrel. This one also is the FMR two-piece barrel. I'll get into what that means a little bit later. But the 527S, a classic looking 5-spoke design. We have it in satin silver with a polished finish. Our plan is to color match the center faces to the PTS oak green metallic that we have. We haven't done it just yet, but we will because we really want to see what that'll look like. That 527S is probably my second favorite wheel setup that we've done. This one being the first. And then we have another set that we had William Stern shoot, a famous photographer down here in South Florida, which was the Anarchy S3 X1s. And that has a really cool two-tone finish. It's a brushed with a brush clear with a brush gold two-tone on the center face, and then polished outer lip. A really busy wheel, but I think it works really well because those busy designs are very forward thinking and very modern, and I think it goes along the lines with something that is aggressive in style as well. So it worked well on the Porsche here. I think it works maybe even better with a Lamborghini or Ferrari or something like that, but we will see that wheel a couple of months down the line on those cars. But going back to this one, hands down my favorite. There is no way to convince me otherwise. This is going to be the S107 SC. I mentioned that we're going to talk about the FMR barrel, and what that is it stands for Forged Monoblock Rim. It is proprietary technology to HRE, and I'll kneel down just a little bit so you can see this thing here. And so what it is looks like a three-piece wheel, but the entire barrel is forged monoblock rim, so it's actually one singular piece. It means that it's lighter, it's more durable than a traditional three-piece wheel that has a heavy inner barrel and an outer lip, and sometimes those things are a little bit easy to bend if you hit a nasty pothole. But on this one, it's a lot more durable. On the barrel, we have polished gold. Frozen part is in the center. Sometimes I confuse myself, but polished gold on the barrel with a gloss clear coat. And then on the center, you have the frozen polished gold, which is extremely killer. I've said it a bunch of times on this channel. Anytime that HRE does a frozen polished finish, they knock it out of the park because it has this epic sheen to it. And you try and wonder how that happens, and it's just because on the bare aluminum, they mirror polish it and then they spray it with the gold clear coat on top. So looks freaking phenomenal. Sizing wise, on all three setups, we did a 21-inch front and a 22-inch rear. So the back tire size is going to be a 325, 25, 22. The front tire size is a 255, 30, 21. We have them wrapped up with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. And a couple of sets down the line, we'll probably do a 2021 setup because we do know that some of those clients like to have the smaller setup and the factory setup on that. All right, so moving our way to the back side, people have commented on how freaking ginormous this thing looks, and it rightfully so, because I'll park my 997 next to it and it makes my 997 look like a Cayman. So this thing, extremely wide, all-wheel drive, of course. I absolutely adore this light here. And then it reminds me of the all-wheel drive 996 generation, where it has that in the back, and the 997 as well. So I'm actually really in the market for something like that. I think that would be pretty cool to have. But going back to this, we've got the iPE exhaust. You wouldn't even know it by standing here and looking at it because we use the factory tips, the factory rear diffuser, but underneath is where you have all the goodies. So we did the iPE stainless steel system. You've got headers, you've got high flow cats, and you have the Valvetronic muffler as well. So with the Valvetronic muffler, you're utilizing the opening and the closing of the valve function button there, which is the PSE button. So we don't lose that, I should say. And then you're also getting the power, you're getting the sound from it. We have a DME Stage 2 tune. We flew the guys in from DME from the Northeast so they can fine tune it while we had it at the track. I'm unsure if they removed the rev limiter once the car's in neutral, because if they did remove it, I'll be able to showcase some of the sounds for you guys when it's parked here. Otherwise, I'll jump in the car real quick and I'll do some flybys up and down the street so you can hear it. But with the iPE exhaust, they also have a version that has higher cell cats with sport cats, so if you guys don't want to tune the car, and then there's, you don't have to do the headers, but we highly recommend it, headers and everything all the way back, because it sounds out of control. It's unbelievable and it performs extremely well. We also have a Tech Art body kit coming. I'm unsure again if it's going to be on this car, because a lot of the times we'll order these Tech Art kits and they take a couple of weeks, even sometimes months, to come from Germany, and by that time we have somebody else with a 992 turbo that it really wants the kit, and we say, hey, this kit was gonna go on our car, but we'll sell it to you at a good deal. So hopefully we get some Tech Art carbon pieces on here. If not, you'll see another video of a 992 turbo with those pieces. But without further ado, let me jump in the driver's seat. Let me see if I can do some revs, and if not, you'll see some flybys right now.